Owendale comes blasting off the far turn for the lead. Knicks Go second, another twist of fate third. Swainyo is in fourth. Shang is fifth. Owendale, final furlong of the Stone Street Lexington. Another twist of fate runs on towards second. Swainyo third. Owendale, Florent Giroux to win it at...
All right, welcome back to a very loaded final episode of Preakness Profile. I know this series has kind of been a bit abbreviated because of the amount of recording days that I've lost, but I unfortunately did have to cut this video down and just include all the rest of the horses in the Preakness that I have not done yet in this episode. So you will get, in addition to the Brad Cox entry, you will get Alwaysmining, the Steve Asmussen horse, Laughing Fox, he was escaping me for a moment. You'll get Ever Fast, the Wayne Lucas trainee, Market King, all of them. So let's get started with, I think, the best horse in the collection that I'm going to do today, Alwaysmining. I said in the last episode that the Preakness doesn't have a superstar in it, and some of you disagreed with me on that, and I will stick by saying that the Preakness this year does not have a superstar. I don't think that the likes of Improbable, Another Twist of Fate, War of Will, and Alwaysmining, while an interesting group of horses in their own right, I don't think they're at the caliber of horses like Maximum Security. Although we do have to see how those horses pan out toward the end of the year. I'm not saying that there can't be a superstar coming out of the Preakness. I'm just saying that I don't think there is going to be. But taking a look at Alwaysmining, first off, he has won everything in Maryland in the spring and in the fall earlier. Most recently out, he won the Federico Tessio. He also won the Private Terms. And then he's won basically all the stakes races at Laurel Park ever since he ran poorly in the Laurel Futurity. The theme of this Triple Crown season, by the way, has been starting on grass, sucking, and then going to dirt and doing pretty well. Now, I realize that he's been running against strictly Maryland horses, and this is definitely a step up in difficulty. But I think Alwaysmining is going to have a chance to do something in the Preakness. He's not going to be the favorite. He's my pick for the Preakness win. I think the fact that this is a Maryland racetrack, it's going to benefit him a lot. I really like Alwaysmining. Now, I want to get to the Brad Cox entry. Owendale won the Stone Street Lexington. And while Owendale was a late arrival to the Triple Crown, unfortunately the 20 points that the Lexington provided was not enough to get Owendale into the Kentucky Derby. Owendale did show some promise in that race. I know Owendale hasn't had the best races in the past, but Owendale does look like a very solid horse. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be a multiple classic winner, but Owendale is definitely a horse that you're going to want to take seriously. Now, I think his stablemate, Warrior's Charge, and I called him Warrior's Challenge in the initial take that I did of this episode. That just shows you how bad my reading is, that I filled in a word that wasn't even there. But Warrior's Charge, I think, is a very interesting horse. He's 12-1 right now on the morning line. He's a couple points lower than Owendale, but I think Warrior's Charge has the potential to be the better horse. If you go back and look at his most recent race, and I did upload that onto YouTube. I said I was going to do that earlier today in the podcast, and I did do that, so you can go check that race out, and it will also be in the film of races that you see in the background of this video. But he ran a very, very good race in that allowance race. I know it's an allowance race, and I never like to freak out over a horse winning a maiden or an allowance race and call them an immediate superstar. I never bought into the hype around Hidden Scroll back in February and March. I thought that, pump the brakes a little bit. Hidden Scroll won on a wet track that favors speed when it's wet at Gulfstream Park. That's not, while it was an impressive accomplishment, it's not the most slam dunk solidified this horse is a superstar win. So while I don't want to overvalue him off a very good race and an allowance optional claimer, I will say it was a very good race for Warrior's Charge, and something that definitely makes you want to take this colt seriously. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the long shots. Market King, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. I don't really think he has a realistic chance of winning this Preakness. I think he's kind of a long shot that Wayne Lucas is kind of putting in there to give himself an opportunity to win another Preakness. That being said, he is my sentimental choice. I always have a horse that I'm rooting for some particular reason, whether it's a particular jockey that I like, whether it's a trainer, an owner, whatever. And then I always have my realistic pick. So Market King, trained by Dwayne Lucas, is my sentimental horse for the Preakness. Now I want to talk about Signalman, a horse trained by Kenneth McPeck, who looked very, I don't want to say very promising, but looked like a pretty solid 2-year-old. He was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the game winner in Knicks Go. He won the Kentucky Jockey Club, a race where Knicks Go, I don't even know what happened to Knicks Go in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and I don't really want to know because, I mean, I've had my takes on Knicks Go before. Knicks Go is a horse that, if he shows up later in the year, he's just going to be the kind of horse that is there. But Signalman looked very good coming into the Fountain of Youth, and I completely forgot that he was in there when I was making my picks, but my 2 picks in that race, horses that I thought were going to be very good, were Vekoma and Code of Honor, and both of them came out of that race with a lot of upside. Signalman did not come out of that race with a lot of upside. He finished 7th. He ran in the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland, and he got run out by Win, and ultimately was not able to get into the Kentucky Derby this year. So unfortunately for him, he did not get in. I gave him another chance in the Bluegrass, and I think he is a solid horse. But like I said, I don't think he's anything super special. That's what I think a lot of the horses in the Preakness are this year. It's not a race with a lot of superstars, but it's not a race with a lot of horses that, you would say, these don't belong in a classic. And I forget who said this. I believe it was Jeremy Ballin who said this. He's like, these horses deserve the opportunity to run in a Preakness, and he was running down the list of the War of Wills, Bourbon War, Improbable, Alwaysmining, Signalman. Yeah, I think horses like Everfast and Market King are just kind of in there to supplement the race. But hey, I mean, more horses, more chances for winners. But now I want to get to Laughing Fox, who won the first edition of the Oaklawn Park Invitational. I wanted to say Oaklawn Park Handicap for a second. Oaklawn, this is the first year they did the stay until May, and that was a very big success for them. Oaklawn Park is a growing racetrack, and I mean, I don't know, I could just be talking out of, thin air, but I think maybe, I would not be surprised if in the future they added a turf course and they looked into trying to get the Breeders' Cup down there. I have no idea. Probably that would not happen, but I don't know, maybe. I don't know, crazier things have happened. But regardless, Laughing Fox was, I believe he was 3rd in the Arkansas Derby, he was 4th in the Arkansas Derby. Country House got up to be 3rd in that race, but Laughing Fox didn't look bad in that Arkansas Derby, considering the fact that horses like Omaha Beach and Improbable were in there. Omaha Beach was just so good on that Arkansas Derby day, but I mean, Improbable's in the Preakness, so if Improbable beat Laughing Fox is a nice horse. Laughing Fox is not a bad horse. I don't think there's any particular things that I don't like about Laughing Fox, but, Laughing Fox, he's a long shot right now, but I think he's got a chance to win. I would give him a lot more of a chance than I would Market King and Everfast, and probably even Win. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Win. A lot of people have been on Win for a long time. I just don't buy him. I've never he kind of reminds me a lot of the horses from Kentucky Derbies in the past, the trendy upset pick that usually never pans out. I don't know. That's just my opinion on him. So taking a look at the horses that we covered today, Warrior's Charge, I think he has a decent chance. I say, his odds are probably going to be higher than Owendale, but I would say he's the better play over his stablemate. Owendale, I just don't think has the class to win the Preakness. Market King is a complete throwout horse. Long shot, I don't believe in him at all, although I would love to see Market King win the Preakness because I would love to see the coach win another Triple Crown race. Don't really think that's in the cards for him, but, crazier things have happened. Alwaysmining is my pick. I know he's not going to be the favorite, and I know there's a lot of question marks about him. There were a lot of question marks on Maximum Security, and by no means am I saying that they are the same type of racehorse, but Alwaysmining has won everything in Maryland, and I have a lot of confidence in the horse from Laurel Park. Signalman with him, it's kind of been a little bit of what have you done for me lately? And he hasn't really done a lot for me lately. He had that clunker in the Fountain of Youth. I think he's kind of one of those middle placing horses. I don't think he's going to be far back at the end, but I don't think he's going to win. Everfast is another one of the throwout horses. Laughing Fox, I think of all the long shots, Laughing Fox is the most interesting. That's not necessarily saying that Laughing Fox is the best horse or a horse that I would recommend going with. If you're going to go with a horse at a price, I would say Warrior's Charge off that allowance win is the horse you go with. So the other horses that we've talked about in the past episodes, War of Will, I think he's a very good horse. He showed he definitely had something left in the Kentucky Derby because he was, again, I will say this and I will stick by this for the rest of the time that I'm in this industry. The disqualification of Maximum Security in the Kentucky Derby was justified. You saw War of Will going up on the outside trying to make a move. Maximum Security, for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason was, shifted out. But War of Will looked like he had some more run in the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully he'll get a better shot this time. He's in the one post. I don't love that for him. I don't hate it because I saw him able to overcome the one post in the Kentucky Derby. Bourbon War has a lot of upside and a lot of talent, but I just can't trust him to win this Preakness because I can't ensure that I'm going to get a pace with him. And I talked about that in his episode, just recapping this a little bit. Warrior's Charge, a lot of question marks off that allowance win. Does he have the class to stick with stakes winners? He's never run in a stakes race before. I'm not saying he can't do it. There's a lot of question marks there. Improbable is going to be the favorite. I don't really know if he is so much better than all the other horses in this field. You could make the argument that he is the best horse in this field, but by how much? Owendale's just a little bit too inconsistent for my likings. Yes, I know he won the Lexington Stakes, but what was that really against? I mean, I know he ran against another Twist of Fate, but, Owendale, I don't really like him as much as I like his stablemate. Market King, complete long shot throwaway. Would love to see him win for the coach Wayne Lucas. Alwaysmining, my pick. I'm not going to say he's the favorite because he's not. But Alwaysmining is my pick. But there are the question marks. Is he going to be able to get this kind of field? Does he have the class to match up with them? Signalman, what have you done for me lately? A lot of nothing for him ever since he won the Kentucky Jockey Club. Not been the most consistent, 7th in the Fountain of Youth. I don't think he's going to be that bad in the Preakness. I think he'll probably be around 5th, 6th, could be 7th, but I don't know. Bodie Express, he could be up there setting the pace. Maybe the maiden gets his first win, picks up Johnny Velasquez. If he wins, a lot of credit is going to go to Johnny Velasquez. Johnny Velasquez has never won the Preakness before. That is something to take into consideration. Not really that much, but that is something to note. Everfast is another one of the throwaway horses. The Dale Romans and Wayne Lucas horses, just get rid of them. Don't even talk to me about those two horses. Again, like I said with Market King, I would love to see him win this Preakness, but he's just not good enough. There's no reason for him to be in this Preakness other than a filler horse. Laughing Fox, long shot, the most intriguing of all of them. I think he's more intriguing than Win, more intriguing than Market King, definitely more intriguing than Everfast. And I think him and Warrior's Charge are the two horses that I would say at a price play them. Another Twist of Fate is probably going to be the second choice. He had that commanding win in the El Camino Real Derby on synthetics. He ran out of ground in the Sunland Derby, and he didn't get it done in the Lexington Stakes. I'm waiting for that big breakthrough performance on dirt. Maybe we get it tomorrow. I don't know. And Win, the last horse, he's just too inconsistent for me. Win has done everything but win 3 times this year. He's only won once. He has lost his last 3 races, the Tampa Bay Derby, the Bluegrass Stakes, and the Kentucky Derby. He is going to be closing late with Bourbon War, so that is something to look into. I think if it's a slow pace, it's not going to benefit Bourbon War, and it's not going to benefit Win. So looking at the Preakness, my pick for it is Alwaysmining. My sentimental choice is Market King, trained by Wayne Lucas. Also, John Court rides him. So John Court, the 58-year-old, looking to become the oldest jockey ever to win a Triple Crown race. Don't think they get it done, but it would be awesome to see. So the Preakness is tomorrow. I will see you guys Saturday night for a post-Preakness live show. If you want more from Racing Rundown, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube if you have not already. You can get the Racing Rundown podcast wherever podcasts are found, iTunes, Spotify, and the likes. You can also follow us on social media at Racing Rundown Podcast on Instagram and on Rundown Racing on Twitter. Twitter is the best place to get my live, up-to-date opinions on everything horse racing. That's where you can get news, picks, everything. Follow me on Twitter, Rundown Racing. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good luck in the Preakness.
3 furlongs to go. Mr. Money is also close. Dump being ridden to gain. Manny Watt toward the inside. Hemley's Joy. Hog Creek Hustle unwinding on the far outside as they come for home at the quarter pole, and it's War of Will who leads them into the fairground stretch. 3/4 in 1 minute 12.20 seconds. It's War of Will coming down to the final furlong, staying on his country house. Dump had a take up off of heels. Charging on the outside, Hog Creek Hustle. They come inside the final 16th. It's War of Will, chased home by Country House. Past the 16th. It's War of Will. War of Will from Country House. Then Royland. War of Will. Wells, one of them again. Won the Risen Star from Country House.